Let's imagine the following situation. The red team is in the attacking half, in possession down the right side. The right back controls the ball near the touchline, while the yellow team sets up in a very deep defensive block. Notice how the yellow team does a good job matching up with the red players. Their two banks of 4 are well positioned. However, player number 7 will make a run between number 6 and number 4 to receive a through ball from the number 2. At this moment, the red team has 5 players attacking the box, 1 on the ball and 4 making runs through the middle, looking to get on the end of a cross from number 7. Naturally, this movement attracts all the nearby yellow defenders toward the box as they try to compensate for the opponent's attacking numbers and block a potential finish. However, at the edge of the box, player number 5 is completely free because the yellow team has dropped almost everyone into the box to deal with the immediate threat. This leaves the edge of the box unprotected. Now, imagine number 7 cuts the ball inside, forcing the entire yellow team to drop even deeper. This opens a passing lane toward the top of the box, allowing number 5 to arrive as a surprise option for a potential long-range shot. This is not an uncommon situation. It has been observed at specific moments for quite some time. Now let's consider another scenario. The red team is in a similar attacking position, but this time the ball is with number 7 near the corner of the box, and he's surrounded by 4 yellow defenders. Once again, we can see the yellow team's defensive matchups against the red attackers, still leaving some cover players. Once more, notice number 5's positioning. This time, he has a bit less space, as number 10 is positioned closer to him. But imagine the play develops and number 7 plays the ball to number 8. Naturally, both yellow number 5 and yellow number 10 will apply pressure to the ball receiver. However, yellow number 10 is positioned face-to-face with number 8, which causes him to lose sight of number 5, who ends up being more free. The player who could step out to mark him would be number 7, who is aware of the situation but is positioned a bit too far to close down number 5. In other situations, we could also see number 5 holding his position a bit more to maintain the team's attacking balance alongside the other 3 deeper players. Lately, however, we've been seeing player number 5 making inside runs more and more frequently, acting as a surprise element. In this situation, we could see number 8 playing the ball to number 9, while number 5 makes the forward run almost completely unmarked. This happens because number 10, who in theory should be tracking him, has his attention drawn to number 8. Moreover, it's uncommon to see a forward-facing player like number 10 tracking the run of someone coming from deep. So in most cases, this player advances completely free. Here, we can also notice a gap between the center back and the fullback, something that isn't unusual, as we'll see in some examples. Number 9 could then lay the ball off for number 5 to exploit that space. This would put number 5 in a clear shooting position. These two types of attacking patterns, in which the holding midfielder becomes a key attacking piece, rather than just a counterattack stopper, have been appearing more and more often. Both the first and second situations we described have occurred quite frequently in the major European leagues this season, where we've already seen some holding midfielders scoring goals. As we can see in the example from the Juventus versus Inter Milan derby in Serie A, the move develops in the final third with 8 players in the frame. Inter already has 3 players inside the box and another 3 making runs, plus the player on the ball. Calhanoglu, who plays in a deeper role, is the freest player, since Juventus tends to drop deeper to defend a potential cross. Inter manages to break into the box with a pass to Carlos Augusto. Once Inter enters the box, Juventus drops 9 outfield players inside to try to cope with the attacking threat. This leaves Calhanoglu completely free at the top of the box. The ball is laid back to him, and he finishes to score Inter's goal. It's worth noting that Calhanoglu, in this match, was the deepest midfielder on the pitch for Inter. In another example, this time in the German Bundesliga with Bayern Munich, the team has possession down the right side, and several players draw Hamburg's defensive attention. In the middle, however, we find Pavlovic completely unmarked. In that situation, he was Bayern's most central and deepest midfielder. As the move develops, he pushes forward and, completely free, receives the ball before any pressure arrives. He plays a quick 1-2 with Kane and notices the gap opening up between Hamburg's two defenders. Pavlovic already has the move in mind. He plays the ball to Kane and then immediately makes a run into that exact space. With a first-time pass and his forward movement, he easily escapes the nearest pressure. He runs into the gap, finds himself in a clear shooting position, and scores the goal. This highlights the tactical principle we've just described, one that will repeat in the next sequence. The ball is on the flank, which shifts the defensive line toward that side. We'll have one player positioned in the half space between the center back and the fullback, and another positioned more centrally. This positioning creates a gap between two defenders who get pulled apart. In the example, number 4 is drawn to number 10 in the half space, while number 3 is pulled toward the center forward, number 9. The space between number 3 and number 4, who are marking players in different directions, is then attacked by a surprise runner, usually number 5, coming from deep without a marker. This, of course, isn't something new, but it has been happening more frequently, forming a clear trend in Europe's top leagues. In the next example, in the Merseyside derby between Liverpool and Everton, the ball is worked to the right side, and we see Gravenberch in the middle, not tightly marked. Gravenberch is Liverpool's holding midfielder, the deepest player in midfield, and notice how he's already starting to make a forward run into space. Here, we see the same principle again. One player makes an inside run, drawing the attention of Everton's left side defender, while a more central player, in this case, Ekitike, attracts the right center back. This creates a gap between Everton's defenders, the exact space Gravenberch will attack. The ball is played to the right, and in the next frame, we see Gravenberch bursting into that space. There's a large gap between the two center backs. The ball is lofted in, and Gravenberch enters the box in a shooting position, scoring Liverpool's goal. We have another example, analyzed in a bit more detail, of a similar situation. The defensive line is pinned by advanced players, and the holding midfielder exploits the space. Caicedo's goal against Liverpool. It's a very similar situation, with a holding midfielder using his freedom in midfield to push forward and score. To watch that analysis, just click and watch right now.